Good evening, everyone. My name's Dan, co-founder of the C Word, and this is the C Word podcast. Now, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't express to you the reasons why I did this podcast and my motivations for it. Now, the reason why I'm hosting this podcast is to make people aware of addiction and the impacts that it causes. I have struggled with addiction and I know what the impacts are. So I want to tell you guys my story. Now, I've never told this story before. I've written it down and have it on a teleprompter. So bear with me and here we go. But guys, thank you for joining me. My name's Dan. I'm co-founder of the C Word. I'm 38 years old and I'm in recovery. I've got the teleprompter running. I've not told this story before. I'm going to try and keep it as raw as what I can, but this is straight from my dome. But my addiction is cocaine. Parts of this podcast or this interview may resonate with you. So here we go. My parents split up when I was about 8 years old. My mum raised me on her own with help from my nan. I had no siblings. It was just me and mum living in a flat in a seaside town. We didn't have much, but my mum worked hard and always made sure we had what we needed. After school life felt free. Playing out with friends, football in the street, riding bikes, hide and seek, manhunt, them kind of games. This was before consoles, before social media. We just lived. My nan played a massive role in my life. She looked after me whilst my mum worked, and she looked after my cousins too. Boys being boys, we became inseparable. Eventually, my mum met someone new. He gave her security she'd never really had before, a bit of comfort and a bit of luxury. But after moving in together, it became clear he was an alcoholic. As the years went on, his drinking got worse. He'd go from normal to aggressive to a dribbling mess within a few hours. Around this time, I started secondary school, and then my nan died. She had been my anchor, my stability. Losing her was devastated me. Now, as an adult, I understand grief differently. But back then, it was unbearable. The loss combined with instability at home changed me as a person. Looking back, my teenage years were great in many ways. I was doing well at school. I had a big group of friends. House parties became normal and we were allowed to drink. Occasional parties turned into every weekend. We hung out on the seafront. Rows of beach huts became our teenage playground. Lamborghini for the girls, Jack Daniels for the boys, MD 2020, beer, cider, whatever we could get our hands on. We smoked weed, we played football on the beach, pulled all-nighters, and honestly, we thought we was invincible. We even did milk runs, stealing milk off doorsteps in the early hours. Guys, if you ended up with no milk for your cereal and it was me that took it, I apologise now. But we thought it was hilarious. One night, I ended up nearly an hour away from home in an area known for prostitution. Wonder if you can guess that place. I was 14, maybe 15. I ended up in the kitchen eating beans on toast with one of the girls who worked the streets. Nothing sexual, mind you. Just wild kids finding our way. Now, drinking and staying out became more frequent. My stepdad was extremely strict. Curfews, chores, rules. All the stuff that teenagers don't like, really. If I didn't comply, there were abusive consequences. But as I got older, we clashed more. His family called me a mongrel. I didn't share their blood, I didn't share their surname. But eventually, I stopped caring. I was getting bigger, I was getting stronger. His drinking made everything worse until one day we had a serious fight. Ended up with the police looking for me. That was it. I moved out. I ended up in a B&B filled with troubled, lost souls. Not ideal. Definitely not ideal for a 16-year-old, fresh out of school, no qualifications, surrounded by addicts. Around this time, I fell in with an older guy. He kind of filled a father figure gap that I'd never had. Started selling weed. First, to support my habit. Second, to survive. I was on my own. It wasn't ideal, but for the first time, I felt free. Moving forward a bit, at 18, I got myself a council flat. So I was away from the B&Bs, I had my own space. I was sustainable. I joined a construction course, studied bricklaying. I gained maths and English qualifications. So I was doing all right. I was buzzing. I was moving forward. Within 8 months, I'd passed level 1 and started the level 2 work. Then the council told me being on the course breached housing rules. I had 2 choices. Give up my home or give up the course. What would you guys do? Back to square one. It destroyed my morale, and once again, I went into survival mode. Moving forward a little bit more. I started working in a bar at a caravan site, late nights, after parties. The weed was replaced by coke, and cocaine equals money. I became, I'm sorry to say it, what ruined so many lives, a dealer. Let's just say I wore the t-shirt and sniffed myself to oblivion. I have many more stories that I could dive into, but I don't want to incriminate myself and incriminate others. So we're going to skip forward a bit more. I'd love to tell you, and I will as the time comes. In 2012, I became a dad. My own father hadn't been present. When he showed a little interest in becoming a granddad, he flopped it and I cut contact immediately. My relationship broke down. I became a weekend dad and I felt like history was repeating itself. Alone again, I spiraled back into survival mode. A little bit of time passed. Around about 2015, I met my fiance. She already had 2 boys, and a year later, we had a daughter. Honestly, I fell in love all over again. From the outside, life was looking great, but underneath, I was deep in addiction. Then one day, boom! Door was kicked off, my house was raided. I was home with my daughter, my partner rushed home from work, I was taken in handcuffs. Now, the only reason why I avoided prison was the amount of cocaine that I had in my system and my ability to chat shit. Now, 9 years later, very recent, 2025, my cousin died from an overdose. That was it. For me, enough was enough. I drove to my first CA meeting with my fiance. She walked me through the door. I can guarantee she thought I was going to run, but I didn't. I made it to 92 days clean. Then I relapsed. 2 lines, quick bumps, wasn't worth the damage. I got back into recovery. Today, I'm 72 days clean. And I'm looking to give you guys the hope and courage to take the steps that I did because I feel great. Now, I'm documenting my recovery on my TikTok at the C word. I want to raise awareness and break the stigma and give people hope. I'm chasing a new dream. I'm becoming a cinematographer and I'm building my own business. Guys, chase your dreams because life is short. Rest in peace, Stuart. Now, nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you're struggling, please reach out. There are organisations and charities and people there to support people going through addiction and their families. Guys, it's okay to not be okay, but reach out. Talking's the best medicine. I'm going to sign out now. I hope this gives you a little insight. and I hope this podcast reaches who it needs to reach. My name's Dan, the C Word, and this is the C Word podcast. Be safe, guys. Stay clean. Be strong. We do recover.